A man from North Dakota once told me about his grocery getter, and I didn't know what a grocery getter was, so I asked him. And he said, you know, it's just the opposite of a sports car. It gets the groceries, has no bold styling at all, and prefers reliability over anything else because it gets you from point A to point B, back to point A again. And so, why does that matter? Well, because sports cars are growing up. They're becoming more like grocery getters. And why that's important to me is because I'm a huge fan of sports cars and I have to get over that. So, in order to look into that, what is a grocery getter? This is a Toyota Sienna. The car my mom dropped me off until I graduated as a senior in high school. If you look at it, it is not a sports car at all. No bold stylings, no chances taken anywhere, and it prefers reliability as well as miles per gallon over anything. So, what we have to look at before we get into how sports cars are growing up is the history of the sports car. Now, I like to start in the 60s, what I like to call the boisterous boats. Now, your grandpa or your really old dad loves these. They're American made, they ended with the gas crisis in the 1970s, and they're old, big, and heavy. Fun fact, this is my car. I took a picture of it, it looks great. Moving on to our second phase of our car history, we have the flamboyant Fast Boys. They ran from the 80s to the 2000s. They were known as the reaction to the gas crisis. They included way more tech, and they had way bold styling. This is also my car. This is a 2003 Subaru WRX, and they were known for taking risks and not exactly caring about reliability or miles per gallon, as we'll see later. So, why does this all matter? This matters because as consumers have gotten older and as we've become more aligned to the environment, we care more about more grown-up things like not having a huge wing on our car and maybe making more than 20 miles per gallon while doing it. So I'd like to get into Hyundai's response. So this is a first generation Hyundai Veloster. This was meant to be a sports car. Now, it looks like a grocery getter. Now, this was not a cool sports car. However, Hyundai eventually nailed it. And that's where the inline and the Hyundai N comes into play. This is the Hyundai Elantra N. Now, it has slightly laid back styling. Again, we don't want to get into those wings. And it does it all with a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine, as well as a combined 28 miles per gallon. All right. So we look into that and we go, well, what are other manufacturers doing? Let's hop back to my personal car and how Subaru has handled the consumer's growing demands. We look here, there's my car. It gets around 227 horsepower with a combined 20 miles per gallon. But that's fine because it's fun, right? But as the market progresses, you would think that Subaru would make changes. And they did, just in the wrong areas. Look at that. That's supposed to be a sports car. It looks like a blobfish. And if we look into the actual rudimentary moments of the car, it has marginally more power and an abysmal 3 miles per gallon increase from the 2003 version. So what we can get to this is that Hyundai, despite their previous wrongdoings, knows what the consumer wants and they're willing to deliver. As well as babying me into the notion that sports cars are going up, and I just have to get used to that. So this is what we have to look forward to. All of these running around, and hopefully Subaru gets their act together. So I'll just wait to watch them grow up. Thank you.